Hi, and welcome back to EdTech Insider. I'm Andrew Cohen, founder of Brainscape, and today I'm here with Tom Krieglstein, the founder and CEO of Rover, a social platform that helps college students find more appropriate activities for their college experience. How you doing, Tom?
I am doing great. Thanks for having me, Andrew.
It's great to have you here. I hope I didn't totally butcher the tagline for what Rover is. Maybe you can help me elaborate and tell the world a short summary of what Rover does and the needs that it fills.
Yeah, so that's good. You didn't butcher it too bad, but
Okay.
just to add a few more bits to it. So Red Rover at its core is a directory that it's a peer-to-peer directory for communities that connects people together around shared interests so that they can learn, grow, and connect with each other.
And so the main forum for doing this is at a university, right? It's kind of like the student activity aggregator, so to speak.
Yeah, so what we found is that 30% of students drop out their first year, and the number one reason beyond financial reasons they drop out is because they don't get socially integrated into the institution. And there's no good tool right now to help a student go from I'm a new student entering into this community, who in this community is excited about the same things as I am. And they can try on Facebook, they can try on Twitter and blogs, but there's no good tools out there. And so we said, well, let's build a tool that sits on that directory, it sits on top of all the social media activity. And then based on what that individual is talking about, we'll be able to plug them into people who are excited about the same things they am, but then also connect them to opportunities on campus, whether that be events, classes, or organizations that they would be excited about that they may not know about already.
And is there any type of communication that goes on online on your site, or is it mainly sort of a directory that takes their data using a smart algorithm, pairs them up, and then the rest of the communication is sort of funneled offline after that?
There's some ability to communicate within the directory itself, but what we're really interested in is the ability for them, as soon as they find each other, to go back to the tools they're already using. We're not trying to be a new tool for them to use.
Okay.
And so if they're doing their social connections on Facebook, let's get them to go back to Facebook and do that. But what we want to do is build that initial facilitation of the introduction. Facebook's really great for helping you connect with the people you already know. It sucks at helping you connect with new people. And so we want to help build that connection and then go back to the tools you're using, whether it's Facebook, Twitter, or blogs.
And what made you originally come up with this idea? Did you find it was a void in your own college experience, or did you have somebody you knew who sort of dropped out because they didn't feel well integrated?
Yeah, Kevin and I are the two founders of the company, and both of us had situations in college where outside the classroom learning is how we transformed and literally changed our lives. What we did outside the classroom is more important than what we did inside the classroom in terms of our own personal development. And so we want, and we see that so many students miss out on that opportunity or drop out of school. And we see it every single year, every college we work with. We work with 250 colleges over the past 7 years, and we see the same issue happening over and over and over again. And so we said there's got to be a better way to be able to help build those social connections and build a sense of social comfort at the institution so that they're more likely to stick around from year to year. And then once they're sticking around, now let's start providing them growth opportunities, but not just in a generic sense of growth opportunities, but literally, what are you interested in as an individual at this moment in your life right now? And so if World War II history is your exciting thing right now, let's connect you to as many things, people, opportunities, events, clubs that are related to that.
And aside from the attrition rates, is there data showing that this in fact improves whether it's performance at school or earning opportunities or job advancement afterwards?
Yeah, so what's interesting is a lot of schools don't have good data, baseline data on the engagement that they're doing now. So oftentimes with the schools we're working with, we're going in and we're setting up that baseline data. We're the first ones to really give them hard data to work with. And honestly, it's ugly at first. But that, but that's the goal is once we have something, then we can improve upon it. And so that's what we're doing with the schools now.
And you guys are, what, about a year in really working with some of these universities, so I guess you don't have earnings data yet for some of these graduates, but in terms of engagement, can you tell us a little bit more about how it's being adopted so far?
Yeah, so we've been around for 7 years total.
Oh, 7 years.
But the first 4 years we consulted and we did consulting and trainings at colleges as a way to
Okay,
really understand the market.
that's
And
more interesting.
then the last 3 years we focused on building the software. And so some schools, the longest they've been with us, most have been with us a year or two. So you're right. And in terms of what's going to be really interesting is as a student, I'm not the same person I was when I entered college from when I left college. I changed over time. So my identity profile changed over time. And what we're tracking is the fact that these individuals, it's not just me, it's every student changes over time. So we're going to have these life streams, millions and millions of life streams of people over time as they went through college. So that by the time the new student comes into school, we're going to be able to, based on who he or she says she is, be able to offer her or him opportunities that are based on the people who've come before that person, almost like a
Oh, interesting.
Netflix.com or an Amazon.com recommendation engine. And then the other part is for alumni, I wish my school would stop asking me for money for the football team. I didn't play football. We kind of sucked at football. I don't care about it. But what I really care about is education, entrepreneurship, and technology. And so I wish my school would know that about me so that they could start asking me information related to that or build mentor-mentee relationships because they know that's what I'm interested in. But they don't know any of that. But we will know that. And so now alumni departments can start targeting their alumni in a really specific, targeted way and bring them back into the institution in a relevant way besides just asking for money.
Well, it sounds like this is a hugely untapped and almost underrated fabric of the university experience that isn't really being leveraged so well. And your framework, as it has worked and evolved so far, and as it's kind of coming together right now, really sounds very encouraging. What are the next steps? After you kind of penetrate more markets and get a broader range, what are sort of the next features, the next offerings to continue growing as a company?
So I think that was the bigger vision. We're not there
Okay.
yet to do plug alumni back in. We're right now we call I call it the Normandy Beach, the ability to like stake in the ground and then spread out from there. It is been student affairs usually within student activities or the first year experience department. Those have been our two stakes in the ground, and then from there that gives us the ability to capture that first year student, and then we'll work with that first year student over the next couple of years, and then we'll start. Then we'll have more and more of these live streams, and then we'll plug alumni back in, and then once we have alumni, now all of a sudden we're going to be in corporations because we're going to be able to. Schools have a real problem right now placing candidates into qualified jobs, and corporations have really spent tons of resources trying to find qualified candidates. We can start being the bridge between those two.
That was actually going to be my next and possibly last question is, what are the corporate applications of this? I think I remember that you one of your first paying customers actually might have been a corporation for whom you built this system, and then universities sort of afterwards. What's the corporate use case for this?
Yeah, so colleges came first. We're doing great with colleges, and then later in the game, corporations came in, and
Okay, what's
and
that?
and, and we said no, we're not for corporations. We're only for colleges. And they said no, seriously, we want this. Just like colleges want to connect students together around chess or water polo, we want to connect our employees together around risk management or insurance brokerage or whatever it may be. It's just a different topic. And so we said, okay, well, we can be a directory for your community that connects people together around shared interests so that they can learn and grow from each other. And that's exactly what's happened now is corporations are picking up on it for that exact same reason as a directory for their employees so that they can share knowledge in this peer-to-peer learning environment.
That's great. So my memory on this was also half right at least, and it sounds like a great bridge, especially as a lot of these students with university profiles and activity profiles are graduating and then moving into the corporate world. There's so much potential for that data exchange to continue benefiting them, and then also retroactively benefiting their university, as you said, for alumni. This
Yeah,
is
exactly.
this is great what you're doing. Um, Is there anything else that you'd want the world to know about, or at least let us know kind of how to reach you if people want more information from you or more information about Red Rover and how they could follow you?
Yeah, so you can go to the website is redroverhq.com, and go there and you can check out their screenshots, there's testimonials, you can and find out about the team, find out more about what we're doing. The blog is a great place to go to and learn, go back 7 years of us sharing our thoughts on the subject of engagement, technology, community, and education, and fascinating stuff there. It's always fun for me to go back and look at it. But that's a great starting place, and we're looking for adding more institutions as we speak. Just know that we're not for everyone. Not everyone's ready to take on this type of educational learning system and put it into their institution. But those who are ready will instantly gravitate to it, and those are the ones we want to work with.
Well, from what I've seen, it's just impressive to look at for anyone, and whether you're an organization who's ready for this, or whether you're an organization that still has some work to do in terms of sort of solidifying your structure and becoming ready for this. I think it's something everybody should check out. So redroverhq.com as the main portal, and this is Tom Krieglstein. I'm Andrew Cohen with EdTech Insider, and we look forward to seeing you next time. Thank you.
All right, great, thanks.